by the way.
All right. Live broadcast is being created. We are going live. The room is now locked. All right, just a 3. Let's do this.
Right.
All right. So what's going on, y'all? Here we are with another episode of The Corner. This is episode 29, entitled "When Did You Fall in Love with Hip Hop?" So tonight, we'll be getting into different things about, upbringings, eras, and things of that nature as far as, what it is that we, like and love about hip hop, whatever, and how did it culminate us into the people we are now. So tonight, you got myself, and then we also got one of my cast members, and we've got special guests tonight. So I'm going to let everybody, introduce themselves accordingly, and we're going to get started. So we got
Mac, 1/4 of the corner.
Hey, you got Odell Neal here representing Jacksonville, Florida, baby.
all right.
Duval in the house, baby. We officially entered. We officially entered the building, baby. Duval is here, baby.
I hear you. Let 'em know.
Shout out to Duval.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Officially hit the building.
Right. And then, man, you got me, myself, man. You got K1, and we're here tonight. It's only 3, but we're going to make it happen. Like nothing, like nothing's going on, man. It's going to be good, and it's going to be a great episode. So, like I said, this is episode 29, and it's all about when did you fall in love with hip-hop? What it is about this genre that just pulls you in. And we'll just get into it, man. So if anybody want to jump in first, as far as the story of upbringing about how you fell in love with hip-hop, go ahead.
I'll say we can let Odell go. We can let Duval represent first.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm a singing. Hey, I'm the elder statesman tonight, so I'm representing a couple of eras.
Hey,
but
right.
But I mean, it's funny that you say about hip hop in itself because when it was first introduced to me, I maybe was like 8 years old. So you're talking about 78 when it really first started, and I didn't really know a whole lot of names and things because it was something that came on, and some of your artists who maybe in that 40 and above category might know exactly what I'm talking about. But we used to have what you call a black music time, when only the time they would really play a lot of R&B and soul was usually about between 10 and 1 o'clock in the morning. So what would happen was that during that time they would actually start drinking in some. At that time it was just we didn't know it was rap at the time. It didn't really become rap until Run DMC started to really popularize it, and that was like 82, 81 when they came out with Hard Times. That was the first time that we actually had something that became commercial. And because the Sugar Hill Gang, we didn't really consider that rap because we didn't know what it was. Even though that was the very first commercialized record, it was all out of the records like Just Ice was out at the time. We had KRS-One wasn't looking at production at the time, and he was called Chris One when he first came out, and that's where the KRS-One come in. And wow, who else was out? You had Houdini was out, but they hadn't really blew up like that. They had which come out at night, came out in like 79 to 80. So it was a couple songs that started coming out. And then fast forward, and that's when I kind of, they didn't really know exactly what it was. But and it's crazy, when Luke came out in 82, that's when we started really hearing a lot of rap music, period, then, because like he kind of opened that gate from New York to come down to the South, because at the time that when he was doing his music, people don't understand just how much of a pioneer and how much influential, I want to say, important person Luke was to the South, period. And if you really talk to a lot of old school cats about my age and above, they'll tell you, especially in the South, that Luke is like the godfather of Southern rap, because if it was for him, a lot of Rap a Lot, in a lot of these places, Swab House, a lot of these places wouldn't even exist, because he took a lot of blows for a lot of people during that time, because they weren't even thinking about Southern rap at the time. They thought it was, because you got to think, as we went on, they started calling it booty shake music. But then that's when a lot of people started revolving, like, because you got to think, I was listening to Willie D talk about him about Luke one day, and he said that Luke gave us, we opened for him the first time. They never knew who Ghetto Boys were. He gave a lot of people a lot of a bigger platform than what all those guys were local. You know, something in Houston, who gonna know anything about Houston when you got things during that time? We didn't even know Houston really existed. Because at that time, you know, it was pretty much your area or where you was from.
Yeah.
So hip hop, I mean, the love of it came from the music itself, because it transitioned from a lot of the R&B that we listened to when we was little, such as like the Gap Band and people like that. And then it moved up to that, because that was like our Motown era. And that's how I really look at it. That was our Motown era. That's about the best way I could put it. So to fall in love with it, you know, it was something that it just came to us. It was almost like it was so unwritten that it was natural for us to fall in love with it. So it's kind of hard to even say when I fell in love with it, because it was something that just came with it. It came as I grew. As I grew, I saw it. Right, exactly. So you got to think, I started seeing it from a baby. Literally, like the first couple raps are like, people don't even know Just Tyson. Chris One was KRS-One. They don't know anything about it. They don't know about the Juice Crew. They don't know that Eddie Kane was in the Furious 4, and you had Kool Moe Dee was in the Furious 5. I mean, I go on and on, Grandmaster Flash. I go on and on about so many cats that came before that really set a lot of precedent for where we are right now. That's why sometimes you hear a lot. Like for me, I tell people, I say, I'm not mad at the little kids, they're making their money. I'm like, God bless them. But I still think that at the same token that you do have a lot of people that shun them, because it's almost like they try to act like it's not like it never existed. It's almost like slavery. I got a big dog. Hey, bro, come here, sir. I got a big dog. I'm sorry about that, y'all.
No, you good.
Hey, I got a monster here. That's how I gotta talk to him. I gotta call him bro. Huh? It's me and
Right.
I gotta call him bro. You know, hey, bro,
Give
calm
that
down.
respect.
Yes, sir. Because he somebody walking past the door. That's all. But yeah, those are the things that we know. That's why I got to explain to people. That's why a lot of the old heads get upset about it. I don't get upset about it because it's not that serious to me. Just like we're talking about names, it's just not that serious to me. Right. But I get why they say it, because they actually lived that life. I didn't live that life, so I'm not gonna have the same. Feelings towards it that they have. I just thought it was all music. So sometimes, you know, so to say when I fell in love, I can't really say, because you know it changes. Because I was introduced to Run DMC, and then I went from Run DMC, I went to Houdini. Went from Houdini, you know what I'm saying? Then here comes in '88, here comes NWA. You know what I'm saying? Then from there, and then you got to think, from NWA, they did it for what, to '94, and here comes Snoop. 95,
Yeah.
96. And then after that, Tupac came in 98. You see what I'm saying? So it was always something. And it kept revolving. It kept revolving. As long as it kept revolving, you know, it's like, hey, you love to see the evolution of it because you want the different genres. But I think that one thing it does lack, it lacks a lot of integrity now because, you know, it's not enough conscious rappers out here. And I truly believe that that's where we're falling at in a lot of times because there's no balance. Everybody sounding the same, looking the same, and walking the same. And there's no balance. What it is with you had the Public Enemies, you had X-Clan, you had a Pro Righteous Teacher. Like I love Brand New. I love Brand New.
Oh Lord,
Brand New. Yeah, man, Brand New man. Hey, I'm telling you, don't ever get a chance. If you ever get a chance, you will appreciate rap when you hear Grand Poobah. I'm telling you, bro. Man, Poobah is a beast. He got a sick pen. His pen is sick. You know, then you had the Pro Righteous Teachers. I mean, you know, them guys, I mean, them boys had some pens on them. I mean, like Busta Rhymes when he was with Lisa's New School. Yeah. You know, Busta just had a bigger personality, but Charlie Brown pen was crazy.
Yeah, and
Charlie Brown pen was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, you know, so it's a lot of stuff that we can look at, and that's why I say it's hard. That's why I say the beer. I mean, it's something to say. Well, when I became a hip hop head, is when I started understanding the culture. You got to think, breaking came out in what, 83? Beat Street was out in 82. So that introduced us to the New York scene. But at the same time, we had a down south scene. Where they didn't know about the beaches and the booty shops and all that. They didn't know that about it. They didn't. They just, you know, at a certain, you know, you go on the set and you got, you know, everybody got their time when they got their little set when they go on Sunday, and everybody ride, you know, clean up and go hang out. Everybody got their set.
Right.
Yeah. Right. You know, but they didn't know anything about that. But see, that's where Outkast came in '91. Outkast introduced that part of the game.
Right.
Our set. I mean, if anybody, and I tell you all the time, I said Ghetto Boys was hardcore, but Outkast spoke to the South in a whole. That's why so many people gravitate towards, because they literally spoke to. He was Southern playalistic. I tell people, I said, listen what they say with Southern playalistic. He tell you, I'm a Southern playalistic. I'm a Southern player. He broke it down for you.
Right.
And player don't mean that you got a lot of women. Player mean that you know you straight, like you doing your thing. Nobody says Southern playalistic kind of like funky music. That's what he's saying. He said that's how we roll. I was like, people they never understand. I was like, man, they don't ever understand what they're saying. That's why I say Outkast, man. Outkast really put us on the map. At the loop, it was Outkast. I mean, I love Ghetto Boy. I love Ghetto Boy. I mean, UGK. I love all the boys because I mean they represent and they stayed true. Yeah. And that's one thing I just love about Pimp C. Pimp C said something so true. He said we don't do rap music. We do country rap tunes. And it's true. Right. If you think about it, that's what it was. We didn't sound the same. We didn't act the same. We didn't dress the same. We just started getting into that look. The way they closed up, we just started getting in the last couple of years, the last 10 years, 20 years. Them country boys ain't look at nothing like that. Nothing like that. Because that wasn't our thing. That just wasn't us. You know, you'll be saying like right now, I be laughing at you guys. They was like I go to Atlanta to get a haircut. They down there throwing up signs. I said, what y'all retired or something? We ain't never do stuff like that. What's wrong with y'all? Because that wasn't our thing. You know what I'm saying? That just wasn't our thing. I'm like, oh, which one is it? Hey, yo, sit your crazy behind now somewhere. What you need, some medicine? Hey, man, somebody go get that boy salt tablet, put up under his toe so he can calm down. I mean, but it's just what it is. I know right. Tired of shit. Like, I don't want you tired behind stuff. You sitting there. What's wrong with you, bro?
Just like Vegas.
Like, if I better get that boy and we gotta go kill him and Steve. Yeah. I mean, but it's the truth. Because I'm old school. I'm looking like, bro, what are you doing? You sitting here telling on yourself. You know?
Yeah.
And then when the knockouts come knocking on the door, you get mad. Oh, you was over there catching the seizure. So they thought you was sick. So they brought the ambulance and they brought the dogs with them. Make sure you was straight.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, hold on for 1 second. I'm bringing one more person in. The room was locked, so hold on for 1 second.
Okay.
All right. And we are back. So what's going on, y'all? We had to take a brief intermission. Had to go grab my boy real quick. You know, we'd like to introduce the one, the only, Mr. Julian Butts, aka. Go ahead and give me the tag, man.
I'm about to say, AKA Distinguished Legacy, man. I appreciate it. Once again, I appreciate y'all for having me. It's a dope conversation that I must be a part of. No matter if I'm listening or I'm talking, I just want to be a part of it. So thank y'all for having me.
Hey, man, facts, man. We're glad to have you on, man. We already pretty much introduced, ourselves. Everybody knows me as K1. This is our special guest as well, Odell, Mac,
yes,
and here you are, Mr. Distinguished Legacy.
Yes, sir.
So we ready to hop back into it, Odell. You got some more you want to spit out about growing up with hip hop?
I mean, just like I said, I just seen it revolve and I've seen it where it is now. So, I mean, and like I said again, I don't have no problem with the young brothers out here making their money. That's never been a problem with me. I think what happens is that it's more like, you need to be authentic. And, I can't tell who is who anymore. And I know a lot of men a lot of male rappers might get upset, but the female sounding got more bars than men now because there's a lot of guys around here sound like God bitch. Because I'm used to listening to lyrics to the point. I put like this: a song is lyrically powerful when you can quote it say 20 years later.
Yes.
I mean, and I'm not saying like I said, you guys making buku money. I mean, and I just like now, I don't know about then, but now it seems like you hear more about ghostwriters. I never knew all about all that shit till now. I mean, a lot of stuff. Because even like the street side, the corner street rappers, they had to have their own stuff. I mean, one of the biggest things I love about Biggie was that they were showing Biggie when he first started out. Back in '92, they were showing him on the corner battle. That's the kind of stuff you gotta do, because that's what it was. You gotta think K Solo. It was funny that K Solo and DMX, they were locked up in the same. I was listening to K Solo talk before DMX died, and I love that whole. I used to love that whole movement because I'm a big EPMD fan too. I mean, I love EPMD. I mean, because they brought another swag to the game that was cool, but at the same token, they was talking about something, and I can relate to it. And it was funny that he was talking one day. He was like, "Yeah, a lot of people thought." He said it was this kid that he was locked up with DMX. They said you need to battle, and he said that they was fighting about who did Spellbound first, and that was K Solo biggest hit. But K Solo came out with it first, so DMX had. That's why when you ever notice at the beginning a lot of DMX songs, he always say I'm DMX, spells it out. That's a diss to K Solo every time.
Jeez.
People didn't even know that.
Right.
So a lot of times, a lot of people didn't know that because they had a beef. They had a beef for a while.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting. Like I said, but it wasn't I'm gonna kill you beef. It was more like I'm better than you beef. It's like when you're on the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like being on the basketball court. And those are the things that's what hip hop is missing. It's missing that rawness. It's missing that gladiator type of atmosphere. At the same token, it was you got up and you went home. It wasn't nothing. I mean, when I was growing up, we had rap battles. When you go to the club and you had local rap battles. That was the thing back then when I was growing up. All the teenagers, that's what they did. I can see my partners all the time. They sitting in the back of the class writing rhymes. Now I'm gonna be at Skate City, bro. You come out to see me? I mean, that kind of stuff we don't do no more. You know how many times? I mean, you talking something. I'm not trying to diss them, but how many times do you ever see a lot of these cats up here freestyling?
Talking about today?
Just in general. I mean, the last 10 years, how many people you see freestyling in the last 10 years? Some of your favorite big, some of your big time rappers.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff is written.
Yeah.
So it's authentic. You are a performer. You're not a rapper.
Right.
You understand? That's what it is. It's just like somebody. It's like an actor. You didn't write the script, so that's really not you. How many times we don't see?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. How many times we have seen actors that we thought was American, and when they talk to them, they British?
But I remember when Ed Elba came on the scene, I thought he was from New York. And then you heard him talk, he was like, "Oh,
this man."
So
he trumpets.
Right. So what's the difference in the two? What you understand? What's the difference in the two? You're not who you say you are.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Unless I'm missing something.
No, you hit the nail on the head with that one.
I mean, I think you still got a couple of MCs that, today that still keeps it authentic. Like when I think of one, like when you say in terms of freestyle and not rapping pre-written, one MC that comes to mind is Royce the 5'9".
Okay.
He and others alike, you have Joel Ortiz, Joe Budden, and Crooked Eye. I believe that they still hold that, they still hold the culture, on their shoulders and with high regard, as far as like, if you had a freestyle, like if you had to rap in front of an audience or freestyle, like you had to think on your feet, so it had to be clever. And also you have to be able to grab the audience, with what you're saying. Another guy, which is actually one of my favorite MCs, Jay-Z. I believe he's still, without having to do any pre-written. And if you guys had Tidal, he did a lot of shows on his Tidal app, and put it on his app. It would just go 5 minutes just spitting, no pre-written or anything like that. Rest in peace, DMX. All he did was battle. He would be the guy that I would actually put over Jay-Z, if I was to go for preference as far as his lyricism goes. Just only because, I feel as though DMX had to go through some more, he had to go through a lot of shit in his life, which gives you more room to, talk about.
Right.
But yeah, so I just want to add my 2 cents on that one.
Yeah.
You don't think Nas? What about Nas?
I like Nas. Yeah, I do. I love Nas too. I guess if you were to ask me to compare, if we have enough time towards the end of the show, I'll
All the way I'm asking, because I mean, hey, that look, that ship made you look. I think Jay-Z couldn't come back from it, my friend.
Oh, you talking about Ether?
Couldn't come back from it, my friend.
But he ain't die off either though. No, but it ain't hurt that bad.
But I tell you, but think about it. I mean, you got to think he was in the power. He was in the power time. But just to be on lyrically, I mean, that's just like people used to talk about LL. They say LL, but Cannabis ate him alive. Yeah. Cannabis gave him his hat to the point that he had to go get Joe Budden and them to go do the 1-2. You know what I'm saying? He had to go get somebody. He had to go get them boys. Yeah. He had to go get Joe Crack them. And I mean, come on, think about it. I mean, Cannabis was eating him alive. I mean, Cannabis was just killing him. But I mean, again, I mean, but I'll say that's a lost art form right now, because you don't see that. You don't see that. You don't anticipate that number. Like it was with LL and Cool Mo. Cool Mo got some catchy lines, but when LL came with Jack the Ripper, King Hercules, I was like, it's a rap. Everybody was like, we done. He said, I'm Jack the Rapper, King Hercules. I'm like, wait a minute, where did you get that from? Because you never heard that before.
Nah, that's true.
And Kumo D, well, he bowed right on out. I mean,
Yeah.
there's some people out here was vicious. There's some cats out here that was vicious. They had some vicious skins on. I mean, you gotta think. I mean, Q was one of my all-time favorites. When he did no Vaseline, I was like, man, I felt bad for them dudes. I was like, I felt so bad. I got mad at Q. Like, bro, you should have did them boys like that. Cause I'm like, that ain't right. You almost like you picking on your little brother. I mean, cause he was really the first rap. That was the first rap battle song you ever heard him actually call names. They would hint to you who you were, but they never. He actually called names like names.
Damn line.
Yeah, when he told Ren, he was like he said, I thought Ren used to be my homie. I had to let him on the scene. Now he was back at the first team. Like he was a rookie. Like, bro, I let you in. Come on, man, get out of here. How you gonna tell a man? How you gonna tell a man? Somebody call like you call him little daddy. Little daddy, come here. Give me some water, little daddy. You know what I'm saying? Come on, you don't talk to a man like that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, don't do that, man. That was vicious. I don't think people know how vicious that was. He talking about, well, I let you on the scene, the back of the first team.
Right.
Not that you was on the team. I let you. Come on.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Stop buying the hand. Stop buying the hand that fed you.
Yeah, that's deep. Like you should never said anything. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's why I like, man. Come on.
But I definitely want to open the floor, man, so y'all can get some insight as well on why, how y'all fell in love with hip hop. You know how Odell fell in love with it, but what about y'all two? Distinguished
It's
man.
you first, bro.
Oh, me? All right, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
You the guest?
I can rock out when he done. I promise you.
Gotcha.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So, as far as me as hip hop goes, for me, because I wasn't originally, from the South. I wasn't from the East Coast or West Coast anyway. I was from the Midwest, right? So all we really had that was close to home was East Coast rap. I wasn't really too much of a fan of West Coast rap yet. Just only because I felt as though they sound the same. It was the same beat, same cadence, same subject matter. It was all the same. But so I guess when I actually started listening to hip hop, when my mom and dad finally allowed me to, I want to say I was about 8 years old. Now by then, as far as Midwest rap goes, Crucial Conflict been out, Bone Thugs and Harmony been out, Tech Nine, Common, Twista, all them people, they've been out already. But of course, around that age, now I'm just now, getting hip to it. So as far as me listening to hip hop, I got my first taste of hip hop was Notorious B.I.G., the Locks, the whole Rough Riders camp. Of course, the clean version, of course, because like I said, I'm 8. I'm 8 years old when all this is happening. So that's when I, knew who the Locks was, knew who Jay-Z was. So pretty much everything that was hip hop everything was East Coast. Anywhere else, it didn't matter, in my opinion. It wasn't until I got introduced to Bone Thugs and Harmony. What song was it? It was on Crossroads. If I remember, that was always on the radio, and I never understood because East Coast they had their cadence, their particular cadence out of rap and things like that. But when I heard Bone, I was like, "Hey, people can rap that fast." I never knew that. I never knew that.
Right.
I never knew people could have the capability of having that type of cadence. And of course, you've had people alike, like Das Effects and Legends of Lords of the Underground, that Jiggity J, whatever, that type of cadence. But when I heard Bone, where they was doing that, but adding other words to it, not just repeating the same word, I was like, oh man, yo, this is different. So my realm of hip hop kind of cultivated through Midwest artists. Like I said, it started with Bone, and then Crucial Conflict came. Not came, but came to me as far as my attention goes. And then Twista and all that. And then come to find out, all of them had beef because they was trying to figure out, okay, who came out with the fast rapping, who came out with the fast rapping cadence first.
Right.
Now in my opinion, I still think it's Twista only because he's in the World Guinness Book. He's been in the World Guinness Book for years. I think the only other person that held that record, or at least came second to him, was Eminem, and he just recently got put in that book with the Rap God song. But anyways, so now fast forward the years, now I'm living in Georgia. I still wasn't necessarily too hip on Southern rap. I mean, I like Outkast, I like Outkast, I like T.I., Pastor Troy, I was definitely rocking with him too. I didn't really start appreciating Southern rap until until Young Jeezy came out. Yeah, I didn't start appreciating Southern rap until Jeezy came out because I don't know what it was, but when he says, last time I checked, I was a man in these streets, and I'm not a hood dude in any sense of the word. But when he made me believe that I could,
Absolutely.
though.
Absolutely. I feel that. For sure.
Man, when Thug Motivation 101 dropped,
Right.
and these is more than words, this is more than rap, this is street, and I am the trap, dog.
Right.
From then on, I was like, okay, all right, the South do have something to say. Andre said it back then in the Source Awards, but
Right.
Jeezy made that clear as day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He made that clear as day. That's so in essence in hip hop, I started off with East Coast. That was all I was familiar with, and then once I really started to open up, listening to artists back home in the Midwest, I really started to fall in love with it even more. And then once I moved down to Georgia, like I said, with Outkast and T.I. and Pastor Troy, and then Young Jeezy, he had put the stamp, as far as as far as me listening to Southern hip hop, really starting to pay attention to it, because Jeezy wasn't really. I mean, he can be lyrical when he wants to, but he's not. He's not a big boy on Andre 3000 when it comes to the bars, but
Right.
he makes his point. He makes his point. It's funny because it's one of those things. He had a certain wordplay to him where, it made sense. I mean, the weatherman said it's a slight chance of snow. It's July. We know it's not snowing. We know exactly what he's talking about. But it was so smooth though. For it to be played on the radio like that, it's like you can't hate on that. You can't hate on that. So with that, and then in between all that, I listen to Little Brother, Fonte. I listen to Black Star, Most Def, Talib Kweli, Far Side. It's speaking of West Coast, rap. I didn't really start. Truthfully, I honestly didn't start listening to West Coast rap until the Game had came out. True. Because like I said, from then I'm always thinking, well, you got people like Snoop and Dr. Dre, the Dog Pound. They talk about Corrupt. They talk about the same stuff. It's the same beat, same cadence, and same subject matter. I'm like, I didn't care for it. Then the Game came out, changed my perspective. Before he was with G Unit, he was with Cameron and then with Dipset. And he was rapping. I'm thinking this dude from Harlem, just like them. Come to find out, he's from Compton. I was like, oh, so people from the West Coast can rap like this. I said, okay. So I started listening to Game, and then later down the lines, you know, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle that came out, and this is all before Kendrick Lamar and all of them. You know, when Nipsey dropped the Bullets Ain't Got No Name tape, I was like, okay, I need to start listening more West Coast rappers. And then of course J Rock, Kendrick, Dom Kennedy, you know, Absol, Schoolboy Q, you know, everybody started coming out from the West Coast that was actually lyrical, that I was used to, you know, that I was used to listening to. When I first started listening to hip hop, I was like, okay, this is something I'm familiar with. But that's how I knew, you know, it's not necessarily your location or where you reside at that you know, determines where your stance in hip hop is. Because Game could have very well came out talking about, you know, drinking OE, slapping bitches and all that, you know, just like the forefathers of the West Coast. And you know what, even though he did, but it wasn't in the same cadence as West Coast rappers. Because like I said, I knew Game when he was with Dipset, you know, even with Lil Wayne, when he finally got older, and when he was like, you know, finally hit 20, 21 or whatever, he was pretty much his own man. He was rapping with Dipset, you know, mostly Joel Santana. You know, he picked up his wordplay, because before then, besides The Block Was Hot and Get Off the Corner, I wasn't really listening to Lil Wayne like that. But until then he got to connect, you know, in Harlem and stepped his penmanship up, I was like, okay, Wayne got something to say now. Because now he's starting to rap, you know, it's just all, you know, just all familiarity with me, you know. I'm starting to understand what he's saying, you know, because it does sound familiar to me, you know, the cadence and, you know, how he raps and things like that. Because Wayne wasn't really, in my opinion, that lyrical starting out, you know, especially with the Hot Boys, you know, the early Cash Money, you know, Baby and Slim and all them. But once he came back from Harlem and dropped, you know, the first Carter or 500 Degrees mixtape, that's when I started paying attention to him too. So I guess to bring it all home, my first time getting to know hip hop, not necessarily falling in love with it yet, but getting to know hip hop, stems from Rough Riders, Bone Thugs, Twista, you know, or just early on at that time, Wu-Tang Clan. You know, I actually, you know, thanks to Vincent, actually, I still got the 36 Chambers CD. I still got the physical copy. Yeah, absolutely. So getting to know hip hop stemmed from my earlier exposure to it with those guys. And I think what really solidified it was once I moved down south and I heard Jeezy for the first time. I think that all came together, you know, because like my man O was saying, you know, hip hop, you know, it evolves. You know, it's never the same. It doesn't stay the same. I think that's what really brought it all home, you know, as far as my love for hip hop goes. So yeah.
Gotcha.
So me now.
What you got for us, man?
Oh yeah. I'm trying my best to be as concise as possible, man. But for me, of course, I mean, my parents are very musically inclined. So you know, hip hop was always. I mean, we were born in the '90s. You know what I mean? My parents were you know, college graduates that came from that whole school days area, you know, the whole school days generation where hip hop was just not being introduced. So I mean, my parents loved it just as much as I did. You know what I mean? Like when a new album came out, they wanted to hear it just as much as we did. Not so much my mother, more my father, but my mother enjoyed it just as much as we did. I mean, we were. My mother was from Brooklyn. My father's from Virginia, so we traveled up north all the time. So of course you had to make sure you had your, you know what I mean? You had to make sure you had your CDs on deck or your tapes, regardless. And it was a mixture of everything. You know what I mean? You didn't have tablets and iPads, so whatever they was playing, that's what you was listening to. You know what I mean? So anything from anything from Mobb Deep Shook Ones to Kirk Franklin Silver and Gold. We heard it all, but then we enjoyed it all. But I can say a specific moment or a specific time that I knew that was it for me was the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill and her introduction, which was the first show of my episode, which is now on YouTube now. But Lauryn Hill's Miseducation and Lost Ones was the introduction to her very first song on an album. And I remember my parents anticipating that album. I remember us getting ready to go out of town and we couldn't wait to unpackage it. So it's all okay. Like my parents are geeking over Lauryn Hill, like, you know, we're like, who is this? And if she's that good, we need to hear this. So yeah, from that, man, I knew. Of course, I heard things up until that point, but just that was the first time that I had heard. It was like hearing Drake for the first time, like hearing So Far Gone for the first time, and you were like, "What is this? What is this mixture of singing and rapping, and why is it working?" You know what I mean? Like rappers are not supposed to sing. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
they weren't.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, and people thought So Far Gone was the first time, but really, Lauryn Hill's Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was the first time you saw that eclection work. You know what I mean? You had just it was just a great body of work, man. And unfortunately for me, that was my bar. So of course, if that's your bar and you raised in the South, it already creates a separation, because when I'm not being able to appreciate certain artists back then that I appreciate more now, that's because I was holding it to that bar. And that's how I know that was the time that I fell in love with it, because literally when I hear an album, when it's time for me to when I'm listening to the last track, I immediately go back to how does it compare? How does it, you know what I mean? How from beginning, you literally can listen to Miseducation of Lauryn Hill from beginning to end without skipping.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that, and that's for me. That's what a classic album is. So that's to answer your question. That's the time for sure.
Gotcha.
Hey, that's a good one to start off with.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. I say you can't beat it, man. I put that up against a lot of things, and I feel like I hold my own. You know what I mean? If you've heard that album, you'll be like, okay, I may not agree, but I'm not mad that you chose that. So,
right.
Yeah, at minimum. Yeah. But no, I agree. No, that is a non-skippable album though. I agree with that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I will say this, with everybody, that's on here or whatever, we got us, that were, born in the 90s. We have Odell with his perspective. He actually grew up with hip hop. And I think as far as us as so-called 90s babies or whatever, we grew up at a good time to where we can appreciate what we wasn't here for, and we can appreciate what came after us. That, I think that kind of just sets us apart, musically, and how we, feel toward, hip hop, R&B and all that. Because for me, I grew up as a Georgia boy, and, my upbringing was probably the reverse of Max. I'm down here in the South, whatever. This is what I'm seeing around me, So for me, I was around a lot of musically, inclined people. My mother was a singer, my grandmother sung, I had people that were musicians in my family. So music was always around me, but at the same time, I grew up in the church. So, for me, it was like, all you need to be listening to is gospel. Anything outside of gospel is blues. I'm like, what? So you mean tell me everything outside of gospel is blues? Like, I never understood that. But like I said, with me being a Georgia boy, I didn't appreciate what was around me. And it wasn't until, I had bought my first CD is when I kind of, I ain't gonna say that's the point where I fell in love, but it opened my eyes. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. There's more out there than what I've been listening to and blah, blah, blah. But as I was coming up, man, like, the radio was playing a lot of West Coast. Like for me, radio was constantly always playing West Coast stuff. And I would say probably one of the first songs that really drew me was one of Ice Cube songs, and it was today. It was Today Was a Good Day, and like I could recite that song bar for bar and not stop like that. After I heard that, I was like, "Yo, all right, I'm feeling that," you know. And then after that,
with the Isley Brothers' Footsteps in the Dark Side.
Man, come on,
yes,
man. Come on.
yes. But I mean, from then on, man, it just kind of grew and grew for me. So, like I said, the opposite from Mac, I started gravitating more to. It's funny because, like I said, you know, I was hearing, you know, West Coast stuff, but I gravitated to up north. And you know, after a while, when I started getting, you know, stronger in my, you know, music listening, I was like, yo, this is the birthplace. Like up here, up north, this is where it's at. You know what I mean? And you know, I started developing this type of swagger about myself. It's like I was a Georgia boy, but with a New York heart, if that makes sense. So, you know, as I grew up and I, you know, began to fall more and more in love with hip hop, I was like, yo, there's all this other stuff out here. I'm feeling that. And I'll never forget the first time I heard a DJ scratch. I was like, yo, what is that?
Yeah.
So, man, for that, man, like my love just, you know, grew and grew, man. And now, you know, I'm here where I'm at, and I appreciate, you know, just about everything. But like to Odell's point, you know, there's just some stuff I would hear stuff that we hear nowadays. It's like, that don't sound like music to me. You know what I mean? It's, you know, it's still somebody's artistry. It's still somebody's work. They're getting paid for it. So, you know, we gotta, in a sense, gotta love what they love if they, you know, have love for it or whatever. But, you know, I'm the type of person, I can pretty much like anything. If it sounds good, if I can understand what's going on, I'm sold. You know what I mean? If I can understand the story behind it, because I feel like with hip hop in general, you know, it's a story that they're telling. So if they can, you know, convey that story, you know, well enough to you, whatever, you understand what's going on, you can follow, you know, the history of it or whatever, then you like, all right, good, I'm sold on that song. But anything else after that, there's a bunch of mumbling, I can't get with that. I just, unfortunately, I can't do it. But that's my little brief synopsis of, you know, how I finally, you know, just kind of fell in love with hip hop and, you know, began to appreciate it. But yeah, I know, you know, earlier explained that y'all said, you know, stuff about, you know, certain artists being, you know, born in certain places like Ludacris. Ludacris wasn't even born here in Atlanta. Like Ludacris was born in Chicago. But, you know, he is definitely considered, you know, a Southern rapper or whatever. And, you know, like to Mac's point, you know, you got Game. He was rapping with, who you said, with Dipset. You know, and with that being said, you know, of course, in your mind, you thinking like, yeah, this is an up north rapper, blah, 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 until you find out, oh, he really West Coast. But, you know, that just kind of brings me back to the point where Odell was talking about, like, you know, some people are not rapping what they're living. And I say that because a lot of y'all might know this. Pac ain't from the West Coast. I hate to say it. Tupac ain't from the West Coast. He ain't. This man grew up. He grew up in New York. And, you know, he came down, adopted the lifestyle of West Coast and blah, 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 and boom, I'm West Coast, baby. West side till I die. You know what I mean? But, you know, he was a poet. And so, like, everything he flowed with, you could get it. You understood. He's like, oh, man, I'm feeling this. But, you know, maybe all that wasn't factual. I don't know. You know what I mean? But that's my little tidbit.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's my little tidbit, man. But going into it, man, so who would y'all consider, not even now, even, you know, in the past, who would y'all consider your favorite artist? I know, Julian, you kind of expanded on, you know, Lauryn Hill, but is that the one that's your truly, you know, your favorite artist?
Hip hop, right?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, yeah.
I couldn't. No, to be fair, I don't think I could give Lauryn Hill my favorite hip hop artist because that was her only one out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I would have to. My favorite artist would have to be Wale. Wale is my favorite artist. Wale, graduated in 2009. That's when he originally emerged as an artist, made a claim for himself. He's not the best, but he's my favorite. You know what I mean? I know the difference between, I have to be objective and identify the difference between the best and my favorite. I feel like, I love the fact that he, as well as everybody else in that class, kind of bridged that gap between just like, give you another example. Before Wale, before the emergence of Drake, J. Cole, Wale, Kendrick, etc., there was a void in the rap game. And it was a major transition between what we know now to be streams and physical copies, right?
Yeah.
And you had your artists like your Young Jeezys and your Games and your Kanye West and your T.I.s. Yeah. Those guys were considered new coming veterans, and who was going to take over the torch, right? Because that was the thing, right? You had those guys, but you know how it goes, man. Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
And of course, at the time, what was dominating popular radio was ringtone rap and catchy music.
What a time, man.
Right. So if it wasn't for, that's what I'm saying. I feel like, and that's what makes him. That's what puts Wale in that place for me, is because, he didn't have some great backing. He wasn't backed by Jay-Z or Lil Wayne. He wasn't from a popular hip hop area.
Right.
He just was a young dude that had something to say, and has proved over time his staying power. Regardless of whether you agree with some of the decisions and things like that, I feel like he's had a great catalog and a great body of work. So yeah, it would be Wale. Sorry to be so long-winded.
No, you good. You good.
Yeah, good. Gotcha.
Odell. So right now, who would you consider your favorite artist? It don't have to be. It can be past. It can be present. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I got a lot, man. Because I grew up with it. I kind of saw it. Evolve. So it's kind of like when I first started, I thought Run DMC was the best I ever heard in my life. Mm-hmm. And then I was introduced to Outkast. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then from Outkast, UGK came. Mm-hmm. But to say lyrically, the person who really set a tone that how I was living at the time and where I was physically at the time was that I have to say it was Ice Cube, because America Most Wanted. That whole city, that's a city you can shoot right now. He has a song on there right now called Tales from the Dark Side. And this was back in '91, and it says in the intro, it says, we got endangered species, we got new endangered species out here, and it's black men. And what is going on right now? Mm-hmm. That's how deep that CD was. Mm-hmm. You talking about '91. And he said we are endangered species back in '91. Mm-hmm. That's deep.
Yeah.
But we just seen the trials of the Derek Chauvins and the Dante Smiths getting shot. We just seen this in the last 2-3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And people, right? And people were talking about. That's why I said that. When you heard me talk, I alluded to it earlier about there's no people out here that's not being conscious about what they're saying when they come to these, when they get on these mics. Even though people look at that was derogatory what he was saying, but if you really truly think about where you was living and how you was living, and how police were coming into your neighborhood and killing you, that resonated with you. that resonates with me right now.
Yeah.
So America Most Wanted, and you got to think, and I tell people, think about the title of the album, America Most Wanted. That's us 5. That's us 4 right here.
With the 3K.
Right. You got to think, it's us 4 right now. on this right now. We're America's most wanted, and we ain't broke no laws.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you see how deep that is? That's deep. Spice One
yeah.
did the same thing. When he came out of America. He put 3. I was like, it was. That's why I said it's over. It's multiple artists that I can say, but that album really changed my whole outlook. When he said, "I got a sawed-off bottles of hall dog," he said, like I told you last album. When he was talking about when he was on the in-depth, he said, like I told you last album, I got a sawed-off bottles of hall dog. Yeah, boy, if you get with me. And I was thinking in my head, like, we've been killing each other this long.
Yeah.
That he rapped about it back then. Just here in Atlanta, how many times do you hear about artists going in to cut a record and it don't come out? I'm talking about in the last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That album is crazy to me. Every time I listen to that album, it's crazy to me. Sometimes when I see stuff, I have to deprogram myself and get them. Just to say, man, you know what? I need something to get me back to where I am.
Yeah.
Right. Because it'll take
crazy.
you there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So Ice Cube was always in my day, even before Tupac. I like everybody say, "Oh, Tupac was a great lyricist." I said, "Y'all need to hear some of Ice Cube early stuff. Go listen to Death Certificate.
Man.
Go listen to Death Certificate. Death Certificate. Oh my God, man.
Yeah.
That Black Korea. When he talking about how Chinese people treat us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on. Come on. And what that lady when they shot Latonya Garland in the head. About 3 months later after that.
Yeah.
That's deep, bro. Like he was speaking something. That's why I say, man, I know people love Tupac and, you know, all that. I get it. You know, he good. Don't get me wrong. But when you listen to some lyrics, man, I mean, like you can hear Chuck D, him and Chuck D did that Burn Hollywood Burn. Talking about how racist people are in Hollywood. We still talk about this to this day.
Yeah. Nothing changed.
That's why he always gonna be my all-time great, bro. Always.
Yeah.
Always. Because he really was speaking because it was raw. And we didn't have it wasn't like they can go back and reach back and go talk about somebody's life, anything like that. Because a lot of stuff was still happening at the same time. Because he was rapping about drive-bys when drive-bys actually happened. You know, it's not like these cats be talking about, I got 30 keys, you 18. Break it out my face. Like, bro, so dope. You ain't got no 30 keys, bro, 18, bro.
Right.
You gonna be in jail. Who you think you talking to? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, bro, so dope. I'm like at 9 years old, I didn't even know what I was doing. They just told me to go. If you see them setting up, come holler at us. I didn't really know I would look out. They was giving me $100. You talking about 7, 8, 7, 9? That's a lot of money for a little kid.
Yeah.
That's like having $1,000, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They was setting me up to be a drug boy.
Wow.
Think about it. And these are things that they were talking about. So it was things that they were saying that I was actually living at the time. So when you act, that's why sometimes you can appreciate certain things. That's why I can appreciate Brand Nubian when I went to college. When we went to FAM, one of my roommates, he was from New York, he introduced me to Brand Nubian. And they got a song, Black Man, Move On, Black Man, Move On. And they talked about how we've been tricked in America. And how we need to be more righteous, how we need to call each other bruh and brother. This was we're talking about, I went to college in 89. They were speaking about this in 89, and this is the same thing we still talking about to this day about what? Showing each other what? Love.
Love. Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff. I mean, like I said, it's a lot of albums I can tell you that, hey man, listen to this album right here, it changed your life. They got a song called Probable Cause. You know what I'm saying? How many times we get
Yeah.
stopped? And how many times do you hear the police officer say, you got probable cause? They were showing what man was throwing his trash out, he got arrested.
Yeah.
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But these guys was talking about this back in 94, 95. That's why I said we have to revolve in this game, bro. We have to. I get it, and I salute a lot of these brothers out here making that cheese, but bro, come on, man. Is this it?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you got to do. What is you talking about? Like, what is you talking about, bro? What is you talking about? You know,
Right.
you want to promote, like I was telling somebody, I said, how you going to promote Cardi B when she don't write her own stuff? She a performer, she ain't no rapper.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? She a puppet. So she can tell, she can get on that joint talking about, he can't get that coochie unless he give me some money. She can say that because she ain't writing it. Because she ain't feeling it.
Yeah. That ain't her word.
You know what I'm saying? I tell people, go back and listen to some of his early work. Go back and listen to the first two albums of Ice Cube when he left NWA. And I guarantee it'll change your whole outlook of how things look.
Right.
Just on the strip, you be like, man, that man was talking, and you go look at the year it was made, and you be like, man, this 2021. It's almost 30 years later. Was he a
Ain't nothing changed. It's just being recorded now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But you ready to stand in line talking about, I got to wear this coochie. Who cares? You ain't gonna give me none. I don't believe. Let me see. You know what I'm saying?
Oh Lord.
I don't believe it. Let me send me a picture. Let me see.
Right. So I know it's real.
Right. I don't believe you. Let me see. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm making a joke out, but you understand how insignificant that is, though.
Yeah.
It's significant.
Yeah. How is that pushing us forward?
Huh?
I said it makes you ask yourself, like, how is that pushing us forward?
Right. It's significant. Like, it's so minute. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, literally, who cares? And you gotta think these people get they don't treat this so bad. They got these people out here giving these people Grammys, bro.
Yeah.
To talk about how wet your coochie is, and you get a Grammy.
It's her art.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean that, but you celebrate that. Oh, she's a great artist. Oh, what are you talking about? Like literally, what are you talking about? Like the brother just said, how is that pushing us forward? How is that making our young ladies out here feel proud about themselves and say, no, honey, go to school. Get some stability in your life. If you don't want to go to school, hey, go get you a trade. You gotta get something that's gonna make you some money. So you ain't gotta go out here and tell me how wet your coochie is.
Right.
Fact.
I mean, think about it.
Nah, you ain't telling no lies.
So it's kind of hard for me to say I can compare this rapper to that rapper because you ain't talking about nothing. You 50 years old still talking about selling dope. Really?
Yeah.
Man, so you got now some got doggone well.
Right. Because I mean, you got to think of some older artists now that still want to talk about whatever. Like, bro, you're not even living that life no more, man. Let that go. Let that hurt go.
That's why I respect some people when they just be like, you know what? Trick was like our Tupac in the Florida. That was our Trick talk. When I tell you, you talk to anybody from Florida, they'll tell you, Trick is like our Tupac. The Trick talked to every street dude in Florida because he knew how to talk to us. But even with him, what he doing? He cooking now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You understand? To show you revolve. it's not revolving though. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to revolve, bro. You have to revolve. You have to revolve. Right? You have to revolve. And you can't sit here and tell me, man, I'm sitting here. You talking about you talking about how what your coochie is. Come on, are you serious right now? Breonna Taylor just got killed, but you talking about how wet your coochie is. What am I missing? What am I missing? I mean, somebody help me. Am I missing something here?
No.
Man, you're target.
You living it.
I wouldn't even feel, bro. I wouldn't even feel right putting that song. Even if I had the song, I wouldn't even feel right putting it out when I know this girl got murdered in her home, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to have something inside you say, no way. Even though I know it's gonna make me some bread right now, this ain't the right time.
Yeah.
You gotta look like my brother said. What is gonna push us forward? You got to make a decision for yourself. You don't have to put that out there. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Just say, look, I'm gonna sit this one out for a little bit. I know that it's popping, but not right now.
Right.
We try to get justice for this girl. Let me go down to Louisville and sit there and eat some sandwiches, some water. I got this bread. Let me go down there and holler in that way. Let me be effective. Then you can still go back and tell everybody how wet your coochie is.
I mean, that's what it boiled down to. That's what it boiled down to. You know, if you're an artist, be an artist. But if you actually care about your community and the people that adore you or whatever like that, do for them or whatever. So I mean, I definitely get what you're saying. You know, as far as that aspect. But at the end of the day or whatever, like we talked about, earlier, whatever. Nothing has changed. Everything's a revolving door. Sex is still selling. It's going to continue to sell. Like, at the end of the day, life is a revolving door. Somebody dies this day, the next day this new album done drop. Like, it's gonna, be a continuous thing. It's not more, not really control that, we can have on that or whatever, but I just, I wish people be more effective in what they're saying to the masses and actually do something out there for your people. It's not enough for you just like, hey, I'm popping this or I'm selling that. Do something for your community. Put back into the people that's put into you. You know what I mean? You know what? It's funny you say that. I don't mean to cut you off, but it's funny you say that. Now I'm looking at Najee Davenport. He just got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were showing him. I'm looking at the draft party. And they were showing that his draft party was at a homeless shelter where he used to live. That's deep. Right. That's deep. Wow. Right. That's deep. I'm looking at it. I'm like, that is deep. That's real. That's what I mean. But you ain't got to. You don't have to do. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to like. I'm not, like I said. I don't mind you making your bread. But then you got to think. You siphoning out all this money out of these people, and then it's like you just take it from them and you just leave it. Yeah. What's the difference between when you say Koreans come in there and do it to us, the white people come in and do it to us, the Jewish people come in and do it to us, the Arabs come in, they come in our community, they just take our money and they leave. What are you doing?
Same thing.
My point exactly, it's condescending. You see what I'm saying? It's very condescending.
Yeah.
All right. So my thing is that when we talk about, that's why I love certain albums, because I can reflect, like, it's like, say like if I want to go back and just think about when I was in college and that's it, I go listen to Outkast. I can listen to Southern playlist from bell to bell. I'm like, yeah, I remember where I was when Criminal Urge came on the radio. I remember where I was when I was doing it. Yeah, that music memory. Right, because you know why? Because I can do that. I can say, yeah, you know what? I remember when I went to New York for the first time. I heard Black Star for the first time. I never heard a tag team. Both of them was lyrically that strong. It was always like one was always the alpha dog. You know how you always like Run DMC. Ron was always the alpha dog. You always had an alpha dog. But other than Outkast, you didn't have an alpha dog in the Outkast record. Because Dre had his moment and Big Boy had his moment.
Yeah.
With UGK, it was always Pimp C, then it was Bun. You know what I'm saying? Even though Bun was more lyrical, Pimp C had that catch that everybody drew to. Same thing was with Ghetto Boys, you know what I'm saying? Now, Willie D can rap. If you listen to Willie D got a stupid pen, But he don't have that tone like Face had. Yeah, he don't have that face tone. You see what I'm saying? Because Face draw you in. But Willie D is like he gonna beat you up.
Yeah.
I mean, really, he just because but the thing about it, that was the first time I ever seen him a group that had no alpha dog. I mean, no alpha dog. I mean, even I love Brad Nubian, but you gotta think, Grand Poobah was an alpha dog. This pen was stupid. And those are the things. That's why he was talking about Lauren Hill. Lauren Hill pen is stupid. Her pen is stupid. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. Because you gotta remember, she came out of Cougars. And Paul's what do you want to say about Paul? His pen is stupid. And she hung with that joke.
Yeah.
On that Ready or Not, she killed it. Even though she's on the hook, she killed it.
Yeah.
She killed it. So I know exactly what the man was talking about. He was saying how vicious she is.
Yeah.
She killed it. She ain't light, but she killed it.
Right.
Now light is somebody. Now I'm gonna tell you now, when people talk about female rappers, light is the one that Queen Latifah is vicious, but she ain't no light, bro. I've never ever heard nobody like light before, bro. Never. Roxanne Shantae, look him vicious. Very vicious. But again, she ain't light, bro.
No.
She is not, bro. Y'all, I'm telling you. Go
But
listen to Light.
she was the
Listen
building
to
block.
Light of the Rock. Bro, listen to Light of the Rock.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, that Light of the Rock. The Light of the Rock. Huh?
Yeah. No, I was just saying, Lil Kim herself, she's the building blocks of these Megan Thee Stallions and these Cardi B.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
But you gotta think, and Light never got naked. You never seen her half naked. But I'm telling you, you could not touch Light for nothing.
No.
I tell people, I say, if you ever want to listen to some lyrics, go listen to Light of the Rock. Listen to it. Go back and listen to it. Vicious.
Right.
When I mean vicious. When she went at Roxanne Shantae and Sweet Tea, man, what? They had to literally tell her to stop. Hey, you can't do this. You can't do this no more. Them girls little.
The little girls.
And Shantae, they say Shantae a battle rap. You gotta think Shantae a battle rap.
Right.
Yeah.
You talking about for you to tell somebody you stop on a battle rapper? That tell you something.
Yeah. For sure.
That's and she was vicious. But again, that's how hip hop just revolved. And that's why I tell people, I say, look, y'all like making the same. I mean, that's y'all arrow. I mean, God bless you. You say she good, fine. You say call her be good, fine. All them little girls, they fine. But lyrically, how could they stand up and talk to you lyrically and say something to you that's gonna make you change your mind?
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
This is like I tell people about preaching. I'm gonna tell you to follow God, but I got 4 or 5 women around the corner.
Right.
Slide them out there like that.
That's why I told V. I said, V asked me, he said, man, what you want me to call? I said, bro, I'm not about that. And he about my title, bro. That's how you live your life.
Yeah.
I don't care about you call me no pastor, no minister. I don't care about that. That don't get me into heaven. What get me in heaven is how I live my life.
Right.
And same thing it is when you get behind these mics. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna sit back and behind that mic and tell somebody, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm blah. It's like I had an argument with a guy. Somebody told me about you talked about Eminem. Somebody asked me about Eminem one day. Oh man, he lyrically, man, he got lyric. I said, I'm gonna ask you a question. He's so lyrically, do you put him in your car?
You know what? That's funny because I sometimes ask people that. I really do.
I'm asking you.
No,
I don't. No.
So how is he lyrically? How is he one of the all-time greats when you don't even put him in your car?
Right.
I quoted about 2 or 3 different songs that told you about somebody who I love and who I admire as an MC. Them devil can't tell me one word he said other than I'm sorry, mama. Am I lying? But oh man, Eminem, man, he won all-time great. All right, give me a lyric.
Right.
I'm waiting. I tell him I'm waiting.
Yeah.
But
I
What
feel
we
that
do
way
then?
about somebody else too, but I'm gonna save that for later.
but you understand, I mean, honestly, I'm saying. Hey, for one thing about me, it's like I tell people, I say, I listen to what you got. That's what I love about Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. Lyrically, like Big Crit the same way. When you listen to it, you're like, man, what?
Yeah.
Did he just say that?
Yeah.
Because he makes you think. David Banner used to be like that. David Banner's first 2 albums was like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Instead, he started whispering. Once he started whispering, then he was gone. He went somewhere else.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But other than that, think about it, his first 2 albums like that. You'd be like, man, David Banner should give you history of lynching and everything in his album.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He was deep. He was
Yeah.
real deep.
Hey, he's from
You almost had
Mississippi,
to,
too. Yeah.
right? You had almost had to get a pen and paper with that joker. Like, man, let me write this down, man, so I can look that up.
Right.
But you say trying to tell me, oh man, Eminem, man. I said, you ain't pump that man in your car. He ain't on no playlist, no rotation,
Facts.
nowhere.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Only thing that gave him validation was Dr. Dre. Other than that, come on.
Yeah. I mean, he needed that. When he came to the game, he couldn't just go off the strength, oh, I'm Eminem. He needed a strong back.
He's very strong. And you know,
Yeah.
you gotta think Dre was broke, so you gotta think Dre was like,
So
shit, I got
they
this white
needed
boy.
each other.
Right, exactly. Bingo. Bingo.
And the
But you
rest
see
is
right
history.
now, he don't even work with Buddy no more.
Right.
He literally don't even work with him.
Yeah.
He go back and we're snooping and corrupting all them guys when he want to go do stuff.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's so bad that I was looking at some more documentary on HBO. They were saying that he was talking about going out with a new album, and it was a trip that he went back and got ringed.
MC Ren.
Yeah.
Man.
Did I tell you what he think? But I tell you what he thought about Eminem. Though. But everybody talking about how good he is.
Yeah.
I tell you what. I tell you. He waited. Then they got. I see Lauryn Hill and doggone MC Light a smash.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you.
Hey.
That Ready or Not. I tell people. I said, you ever want to appreciate Lauryn Hill? Listen to the Ready or Not.
Yeah.
She came off like a dude.
I agree.
She came off like a dude.
I agree.
When she said, I'm so when I defecate on this microphone, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Wordplay. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it.
Really, the whole Fugees album, she got off, especially the Zealous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that Zealous track, yeah, man.
I mean, that's why I say that's why I say if you really want to appreciate her, that Fuji album, that's when you really get that L. Remember, she used to be L.
Yeah.
So I know about Lauren. See, y'all ain't telling me that I don't know now. I'm a student of this thing.
Yeah, Boogie.
Yeah.
And that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say about even about like you mentioned the J. Cole's, the Kendricks, the Big Crits, the Wale's, the Big Sean's, like all those guys. I call those artists new golden era artists because they did their research. I feel like they were well versed in the history. J. Cole has songs with some of the older veterans in the game. Drake had songs with Wu-Tang. I feel like that was the perfect mixture, the perfect time to bring that style. That even Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly," like it just gave you retro, late 80s. Just
George Clinton era.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Bootsy Collins era.
That's why the OGs respect them guys because they did their homework. You could tell that they saw the void in the game just like we did.
Right.
That's why I'm not to cut you off. I just wanted to You hit it.
No, that's good.
You hit a point with me with that.
Now, you're good because I mean that's a good thing that people are studying the craft.
Yeah.
That's what's lacking.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why it's hard to say how you gonna fall in love with something that's not authentic.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, I had a passage I always say, you look like powder and paint like what you ain't. That's what we are right now with hip hop.
Say that again. That was a bar. That was a bar. Say that again.
Look, he done dropped a few of me here now. I'm gonna have to listen to this again just to write it down on my notebook.
I'm saying that's what he said. I mean, he just said all the time. He just said that all, and that's the thing that I think that we have to understand, that it's like Barbie dolls. It's cosmetics, and we all know Barbie dolls are plastic.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what's happening with a lot of hip hop. That's why people who really appreciate the art, they gravitate to the J. Cole.
Yeah. Facts.
They grab. You gotta think they don't even gravitate to Lil Wayne, because Lil Wayne sometimes is like, people say he got wordplay, but at the same token, it's no substance to it. You gotta have some. It got to be some tangible. It's got to be something tangible to it. And he don't have no tangible. It's nothing that you can grab onto it and say, okay, I can take this with me. I understand where he's coming from. Don't get me wrong. Now he got that down, but okay, bring me up to speed.
Yeah.
Give me something that, case in point, I just told y'all about an album back in '91, and this is with the interlude when he was saying we ain't dating the species.
Yeah.
It's about '91. It's 2000. They talking about 20 years ago, almost 30 years ago. And
I think also. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think also, you know, when you bring reference back to Ice Cube and you know, like you said, rappers that actually have substance. I think also, you know, you have to look the part as well. You may mention about Lil Wayne. Yeah, he can rap, but Lil Wayne, back from where we first seen him to what he looked like right now, it ain't looking too good, man. It looks almost self-destructing, you know, to be all the way honest with you. Now the thing with Ice Cube, especially by the time he left NWA, even maybe when he was with NWA still, you know, for you looking the part and actually, you know, present yourself as, you know, no cap in your rap, you know, practicing what you preach. Not only was he with NWA too, but, you know, I don't think he was under their fellowship, but he knew brothers from the, you know, the Nation of Islam as well.
Right.
You know, he has a personal relationship with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you know, and the fruit of Islam as well. A lot of like you were saying, with just subject matter, something you can hold on to. You know, the Nation of Islam is still relevant today as they were years ago. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is still doing his thing on the podium. You know, still standing strong. I think it's like 80 something now.
82, exactly.
82.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and still sounding as strong as he did back then. You know, but you know, like I said, with and I guess I'll kind of segue to my point with my I guess favorite rap or favorite artist. I guess I'll go back with the past, because I think this will really kind of help me to make me more compelled to listen to hip hop more. When I was younger, I've always wanted to be in martial arts, you know, but my parents couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff, you know, I had to, you know, do a lot of self-taught, you know, even if it meant watching a whole bunch of Bruce Lee movies or Jim Kelly movies, you know, Three the Hard Way, my favorite Jim Kelly film.
Right.
Now, the group that correlates to hip hop slash martial arts is the Wu-Tang Clan. Now, I speak on them all together, but the artist that stood out to me was has always been Ghostface Killer. But I still include all 9 of them together as one. You know, every time I listen to, you know, 36 Chambers, You know, especially the intro, Bring the Ruckus.
Oh
I've always wanted. I've always wanted. That makes me want to practice on my skills.
Man,
You know, yeah. Go space, catch the blast from my hype burst, my Glock burst. You know what I'm saying? Like that made me want to roundhouse kick something. You know, like man. When Ghost was like, I come raw and rough like an elephant tusk, your head bust, fly like Egyptian musk. Like, man, that made me want to kick something. You know,
Vincent, I'm sorry, Vincent. I just got the phone call from my son's mom, so I know she outside.
okay.
I pushed it back so I can chop it up with y'all for a minute, man. But I definitely got to go. This is my weekend. I'm on daddy duty.
Oh man, understood, man. Understood, brother.
I enjoyed chopping up with y'all. I was gonna make it happen however I can. Look, now I'm about to go back and get on Amazon, and now I got to get 36 Chambers album. And I got to get America's Most Wanted album for my show. So y'all done gave me some content over here. Y'all don't know I'm over here working, so I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a great weekend.
Hey man, hey bro, I tell you what, I'm gonna get with V, man. I'm gonna so you get my information because I would love for y'all brothers to come on my podcast, man. And
Absolutely.
You know, we'll definitely get together, man. We'll definitely get together.
It'll be an honor.
When I get with V Monday, we'll sit down and I can get with y'all guys, man. And like I said, I want to invite y'all guys over because you know, the reason I said that because I'm gonna have for you governors to let you know I'm gonna have a Father's Day edition, and this would be awesome to have Black fathers to break that narrative, if you know what I mean.
I'd appreciate it. It'll be an honor.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, my thing is that I even though my podcast is biblical based, at the same token, I still talk life. I want to talk to the brothers. Say, hey, how do you go about with your kids in this climate? That's what we're gonna talk about. So
yes, sir.
I definitely would love to have y'all on, man.
Well, I appreciate it, and it'll be an honor. Keep me posted,
Hey man, double salute. Once again, double salute to you, brother. Hey,
yes,
man.
sir. Y'all take it easy.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
But, yeah.
All right.
So so I guess to pick back up, you know, just listening to the 36 Chambers album, you know, that made me want to practice more on my you know, my skills, you know, because you know, my folks, they've always had to work, but you know, they didn't really have the means for, you know, to put me in classes like that. You know, so I've had to do a lot of self teachings, and every time you know, when I'm ready to practice something, I'm frustrated or something, and I just want to, you know, practice on my skills. Man, I pop that Wu-Tang, you know. Man, I'm telling you, I pop that man. It's something. You know, this is what I love about the RZA. You know, he didn't fix something that wasn't broken when it comes to his beats. You know, a lot of people would say that his instrumentals are the same, and so I'm like, but it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, it works. He didn't have to go outside of, you know, his norm, you know, the boom, boom, pat, you know, and I mean, if anything, you know, samples from the oldies, mix that in with, you know, Shaolin, you know, the movies from the Shaolin, you know, like, all right, now you'll experience my Wu-Tang style, you know, like, I mean, it worked, you know, especially when the Wu-Tang, man, what really made me love Wu-Tang was the Wu-Tang Forever album, especially with the Triumph song on there. Dude, that song was serious. And then, you know, ODB talking this shit, you know, I'm the Osiris of this shit. You know, like, man, when he was talking this shit on that track, and then Inspect the Deck come out, God
got off on that one, though.
Man,
but God got off on that one, too, though. People sleep on God. People sleep on God, bro. God handled you that business.
Dude.
He was one of my favorites.
Oh, word?
Yeah, because God always had that, like, God always kept them all in check. Because you ever look at that documentary, him and he used to go in with Dirty. He'd be like, man, Dirty, why you weren't here? You know, Dirty be like, man, I don't want to hear all that crap, man. Why you weren't here? Like, he was in there one time, he was talking when he had to tell Method Man. He said, all you do is talk. It's 8 of them. It's 8 more of us, man. What you hush? But the thing about it was that God was that dude.
Yeah.
God always kind of like kept him like he was a big brother. Almost, you know what I'm saying? Like he always kept him like, hey man, y'all need to stay in line.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's what I loved about God though. But you're right, man. That woo, bro. I'm gonna tell you, woo was tough, man. I mean, they were tough. They were real tough. They were real tough. I mean, they were tough. And you gotta, I mean, it's like I listen to people talk, like when you talk about woo, that tells me that that's somebody who know about hip hop. You know, but I'm gonna tell you, you gotta, I implore y'all have to listen to Who World Is This? You have to listen
I like it,
that. Man.
Yeah. I'm with it.
Man.
I took the Don P watching Don D till I'm charged.
Oh my God,
and
man.
And then the rhymes that's a rap along the margin.
Man.
Understandable bullshit. The murder was moved with.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, trust me. Vince will tell you. Vince will tell you. You know, I do love Nas too. It's just that when we get into a further debate, you know, that I try not to be too biased. You know, I try to be more objective. You know, it just.
You like Jay like that? I mean, I'm gonna tell you.
You don't?
Jay, I'm gonna tell you like I said. The early Jay, I feel like I said. Let me just say this to you. If Biggie wouldn't have got killed.
We can't use that, man.
No, yes you can. I'm telling you. Yes, you can. Because I'm telling you. When Biggie came out, not Ready to Die, but Life After Death. He came out Life After Death. Jay-Z was irrelevant. He had to switch. No, he wasn't no new, bro. That man had, bro. You know, Jay-Z been out since '91. Do your research.
No, but Reasonable Doubt didn't drop till
but listen, but that's when he got rocked. He was out because he used to be Jazzy J at first.
With you talking about his partner Jaz-O.
No, Jaz-O and Jazzy J. Jay-Z first name was Jazzy J.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to tell you. Jay-Z ain't just Jay-Z about 55 years old. He was my oldest brother. So he ain't no little cat. That's why I say people be telling me, "Oh man, Jay-Z." I say, yeah, but y'all don't understand. Biggie had that thing locked from Juicy on.
Mm-hmm.
And you got if I really think about it, the 411 remix when they first introduced Biggie was on Mary J. Blige's joint. If I think about it, that's when Biggie started having it locked down. But that was his first cut. But then he came out with Juicy. So you gotta think, Jay-Z had been out way before that because Jay-Z came out with Mary. Like in 89, 90, between 89 and 90.
Okay. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Jay does, I mean, I'm not saying he didn't revolve. Like, when we were talking about how rap revolved.
Yeah, revolved. I was going to bring that point up, yeah.
But he revolved. I'm not going to say he didn't revolve. When he revolved, he took advantage of the opening that was there, and he filled it. I'm not going to sit here and say that he didn't. But to say, like, Jay was that dude, I'm telling you, bruh, when Biggie said, he said, I know I'm not gonna be guilty. I got your daughter tied up in a Brooklyn basement. I was like, what? I was like, wait a minute, bro. I was like, wait a minute.
Not guilty. That's why I stay filthy.
Man, I was like, this dude crazy.
Boy.
His wordplay was sick, bro. Wordplay sick.
I agree with that.
His wordplay sick, bro.
Man, don't do that, Vincent. Don't do that, Vincent. Don't do that.
I'm just telling you, Biggie, I'm gonna tell you something. Biggie was better than Pop to me. Pop make you feel things, but Biggie, Pop will make you feel it, but Biggie will make you think.
Man, we've had these debates time again.
Did y'all just hear what Biggie just said? I'd be like, man, y'all just hear what Biggie just said?
Right.
Now, I actually have the opposite of that. Biggie will make you feel it, but Pac will make you think. Now, I do
You
agree
think
with
so?
you. Yeah, because that's only because I believe that, I guess when we talk with Pac versus Biggie, and me and this other cast, Silk, we would talk about this a lot.
Mm.
I'm on the fence of Biggie being a better lyricist than
Heck
Pac.
yeah. Oh, hands down.
Oh,
Hands down.
okay, cool.
Hands
And
down. Hands
my
down.
reasons for it is, I do think Pac was a better artist. He had a lot more subject matter to talk about. But when you're somebody like Biggie, when all you know is Brooklyn and where you come from, and living in the projects, single mother, father's gone, and because not only are you speaking your story, but you're also talking to people that's going through the similar situations as Notorious B.I.G. That's so when it comes to that debate, I'll always be on the side that Biggie was a better lyricist than Pac.
No doubt.
And then he had, I'm not saying that Pac didn't have to get it out the mud, but Biggie really had to get it out the mud before he met Diddy.
I put like this here. Now, Pac have his moments.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. Definition of a thug nigga. Big ain't got a song in his catalog to touch it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
He ain't got a song in his catalog who can touch it. When that boy said, "Before I go broke, I become a drug dealer. I blame it on my mama. I'm a definition of a thug nigga."
Gotcha.
That's what he said. And I was like, I don't think, but you understand, you got brothers out here right now that mama strung out, and that dope money is only what they feeding their kids, they feeding their sisters and brothers because they don't want the people, because they don't want the city to come in and break them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, people don't understand about drugs, but a lot of these, especially like earlier when I was growing up, a lot of these cats, man, they were out here selling dope not because they wanted to, it's because their mama strung out, their dad ain't there, their grandmama getting a social security check. And guess what? They got 3, 4 other sisters and brothers in there. So somebody got to be the man in the house at 13.
Yep.
So for him saying that, that's saying that he's speaking to that young man right now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That's why I tell people, I say, it's not nothing in Biggie's catalog can touch the definition of thug nigga. Nothing. Because that song tells you everything about growing up. Everything. So that's why I say he make you think a lot of times. Like, damn, I ain't think about that. He right.
Yeah.
He really, man, he got me thinking about, man. That's why my homeboy was doing that. You know what I'm saying? That's why my homeboy was tripping like, used to be tripping like that. Now I get it.
Yeah.
I think with Pac, because like I said, I was never really a West Coast fan anyways, but my all-time favorite Pac song will have to be "So Many Tears." Absolutely. Like I can that song will be on repeat until I lose count.
You don't like Troublesome?
I ain't like what?
You like Troublesome? Troublesome was that's deep too.
Troublesome?
Yeah, that's
I listened to that one.
Yeah, that's
mine was always Hail Mary.
Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Shoot, man, I'm telling you something. Hey, I'm gonna say, definitely is a thug nigga. I can always say, but I could say, Pour a Little Liquor was hard because if people listen to what he's saying, when he said, "We was young, kicking dust in," he said we had to wash my mouth around my mama. We couldn't cuss, man. You was a down ass homie though. He said we was on the scene at the age of 14. That's the same thing he was talking about with Jefferson's a third nigga. It's like he had it. He was like he was painting this. He had a canvas, and it was like it was be continued. You see what I'm saying? That sounds like be continued. That's why a lot of people who they all like when they listen to the Jefferson's a third nigga, they understand Pour a Little Liquor a little better.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was a be continued of it. So that's why I love that song.
I got an interesting question for y'all. And so we've all, when we speak of hip hop and everything, that famous question is, who's your top five, dead or alive, and things like that. If y'all were to have a top five currently, right, mine always changes, so I can't I can't always have a solid five because it just always changes. But especially for current MCs. But if y'all were to have a top five, who do you starting with Vincent? Who would be on that list?
Okay, so I mean, this would probably be a good one to close out with down the road. So for me, my top five. Whew,
yeah, I know.
Mine's gonna be an interesting mix.
Give me a couple minutes. Go ahead. I'll be right back.
Right.
Check on my dog real quick.
Okay.
All right, no problem. I give it's a dead heat. I give my top spot to Big for number one. Then Cube right behind him.
Okay.
And then I got Nas for 3. Pac for 4. And for my 5.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I know.
Man, whoever get that spot, boy, they gotta be there. You know what? Rakim. Love Rakim.
Okay.
Love Rakim.
Gotcha.
But that would be my top 5. So I said Big, Cube, Pac, Nas, and Rakim.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So I mean,
that's pretty solid.
yes, sir. Came back just in time, Odell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll set my top 5. You go ahead.
Who's your top 5?
Yeah, come on now. What you thought, man?
Mine's a weird mix. So I said Big, I said Cube, I said Nas, I said Pac, and then for my 5th one, it was hard. I said Rakim. Love Rakim.
Yeah. I mean,
that'd be my top 5.
I gotta have some honorable mentions in there though, because you gotta think, because I say my catalog might be a little larger than y'all guys. That's what I'm saying. I got the gap of the year. The reason why I said that,
10-year gap. I understand.
I'll tell you like this here. Let me go by regions. Can I go by regions right quick? That makes it easy. For the West Coast, I would say for the West Coast, I would say Q. And people surprise me when I say this. I would say if y'all ever listen to King T, listen to him.
King T.
Trust me. It would change. I'm telling you, it would change your life. I'm telling you.
Oh, go ahead and send that to me. I'll look it up.
I'm telling you. Listen to King T. King T got some. He got some catchy love because his beats. When you're talking about like West Coast beats, his beats not like that. It's more like Don Kennedy beats.
Okay.
No, Don Kennedy. You can tell it's from the West Coast, but it don't have that whining sound to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So listen to King T. Right, King T. And then my number 3, I would have to. The only reason why I would go with Pac then because Pac came on later on and he didn't really last. His body work with them. He have a real large body of work.
Right.
Not like these guys. And I know I got to go with Too Short because Too Short was my man.
Okay.
Because Too Short kind of put me on game. You know what I'm saying? So I got to go with Short. I got to go with Short. And I go with Snoop. So that's my top 5 in the West. Now, when you talk about coming in the Midwest, when you're going out to Texas and Michigan and all that, I got to go. I have to go. Only reason why I would go with Face, because lyrically, when you listen to the Untouchable album, that was the best album. Everybody liked the Diary, but listen to the Untouchable album. Untouchable album, he got the Diary to me was real dark.
Okay.
It was real dark. It talked about a lot of killing, and talked about a lot of, and he even made a comment. He said during that time, he had even tried to. He had even thought about suicide during that album. So that album was very, very dark. But he went and got popped for the Untouchable.
Okay. That smile.
You see what I'm saying? Right. You got Face. And then you got Juvie, because Juvie tight. Juvie tight. Juvie real tight.
Yeah.
People play with Juvie, but Juvie is tight. Mystical is tight. Very tight.
Yeah.
Very, very, very tight. I mean, he got a sick pin on him. Very sick pin. You know what I'm saying? Those three guys right there alone, you could shut down the South, really, on that side.
Yeah.
I mean, really. Because then you huh? You said,
well, no, I was agreeing.
Yeah, and then you got to turn back around, and then if I go up a little bit, you got I want to say, what's the other? Fiend was hit. Fiend was hard. It was real hard. Because I wasn't a real low limit fan, but I would cipher through who lyrics was hit, and they was consistent with it. Because they always did a lot of collabos.
Yeah.
And then you got to look around, and then my all-time great come out there. It had to be Big Bun.
Oh, okay.
Because Bun Pen's sick, bro.
Yeah, it is.
And it's hard to, and people lyrically, if you ever notice, Bun is the only man I've seen that they can come from down south that even boys from up north go get it. Think about it. They don't go get Tip. They don't go get G's and nothing. They go get Bun.
Yeah.
Think about it. When them boys up north want to get something to try to tap down here, they go get Bun. Because Bun got that pen. His pen real stiff. And then you got to think, when you come over here to our side, you got Tip. Tip pen crazy. You got 3,000. You got Big Boy. Why you say Outcast? I can say Goodamont. If people forget about Goodamont, how sick they was.
Yeah.
Goodamont was sick, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That whole clique was sick.
Yeah, Dungeon Family.
You know what I'm saying? That whole clique was sick. And then I gotta go with my homeboy. I gotta go with. I tell people, I say, if you all want to appreciate Trick, go listen to 20 to Life. And listen how he break down the dope game.
Mm-hmm.
I tell people, if you ever want to really appreciate Trick, listen to him. When you listen to 20 Life, you're gonna say, man, this song on the album, I ain't never heard it before. He talk about everything, bro. Even how much time you get.
Mm-hmm.
That's why dope boys appreciate him, because they like, man, Trick my dog, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what it boils down to, who you can appeal to.
Right. And see, Trick know how to get to. That's why Trick always say, I'm from Florida. I talk to these boys, because he know that he see them every day. And I can appreciate that, because you got to think, sometimes you be almost like a lost tribe.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When people don't really talk to you. And then you go up north, too. People forget about Mr. Cheeks. Cheeks had a crazy pen on him. He had a lot of party songs, but when you listen to him on that first album, he was killing it.
Yeah, the Lost Boys. Yep.
You got Special Ed. Special Ed pen crazy. That's why I say, man, hip hop is so broad, it's so wonderful. You got to think. Then you got the Nas. Then Jay-Z pen stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Because that brush of shows off. That brush of shows off, bro. He killed it.
Yeah.
He killed it. But he ain't no biggie. Because Big Man, I'm telling you, he ain't no biggie, bro. He ain't no biggie, bro.
He's not trying to.
Man, I thought you was on his side till you said that.
I cannot take away from the King of New York, bro. That man the King of New York. And then you gotta think. You gotta think. Rakim is crazier than it. Rakim is crazier than Jay-Z.
Yes.
Two different eras, though.
But
Two
bro,
different eras.
when you bro, when you listen to Father
I get
Leader,
it,
bro,
though.
but when you listen to Father Leader, bro, when
No,
you
and
listen,
matter of fact, I don't know if you've heard, Busta Rhymes' new album. Rakim is on the intro.
Mm-hmm.
Rakim went stupid on that track. He did.
Man.
As he should.
Hey, Busta, you got to think, Busta got a tight can on him. Busta can tight, bro.
Yes. He's underrated.
He's actually on my list.
But Busta got a tight, his can real tight.
Yeah, he's on my list.
Man, Busta, man, that bob your head, man. I was like, do y'all really listen to what he was saying?
That breaking neck track.
Yeah, man, bro.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, you so busy dancing that you ain't really listening to what he's saying.
Right.
Because of the beat. But man, I'm like, y'all listen to it. Then you got, but like I said, then you got Grand Poobah. Poobah, I'm telling you. Poobah, my dude, man, I'm telling y'all, Poobah be getting it. If you get a chance, listen to that Brand Nubian album. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to Brand Nubian, bro. I listen to Brand Nubian every day. Every day. I do. I listen to Brand Nubian. The reason why I listen to Brand, because I said it kind of gives you that. It takes me back to when I was in college, but the same token, it kind of brings back to reality. Man, this is what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And then you can't get the greatest of all time, Run DMC. You can't separate them two.
Yeah.
You can't separate them two. They're the greatest of all time. I don't care how many records I don't care what nobody tell me about how lit. When that man said, when D said, he said, "Black hat is my crown, symbolizing my sound." He said, "I bust it, I don't mess around." He said that, and he was talking about the hat on his head. I was like, "Hey, what did he say?"
Yeah,
he said, "Black hat is my sound." He said, "Black hat is my crown, symbolizing my sound." Meaning that when you see this black hat, you see, you know this is what I'm about to rap. I was like, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I mean, that's why I say I appreciate a lot of hip hop, bro. It's hard to put a top 5, but if I was like, say, if I had to go like East Coast, West Coast, you got to think. Shoot, it'd be Rakim, it'd be Biggie, it'd be Cube, it'd be Pop, and I put Face just for the South.
Gotcha.
That way, that's the whole area.
Right.
And I mean, mix. And that way, that's people who have content as well.
Gotcha.
And ain't got no better. You gotta be like, what the heck is he talking about?
Right.
Gotcha.
So you, Big Mac?
All right. So I'm gonna take it from the approach of who I think currently is. I'm gonna put the I guess the dead part to the back burner, just only because I don't know. I guess my way of thinking is that they've already made their mark. I feel as though currently with these MCs that I personally listen to, they've made my list. This is what it is so far. Now, like I said, it changes all the time, but currently, and it's no particular order. Currently, I have Busta Rhymes. Secondly, Jay-Z, of course. 3, I got. He actually raps with Kendrick Lamar. They're at a group. This guy called Ab Soul.
Oh yeah.
Okay, bet, yeah. Ab Soul. 4, I'm actually willing to throw Drake on there. Yeah, I know this, and I'll get to that. But so I'm willing to throw Drake on there, and 5, this. Because I kind of go back and forth with this one. It's like it's in between Big Crit and J. Cole. I can never. That's the hardest.
That's nasty. That's nasty.
I know.
Both of them had their moments, though. Both of them had their
Yeah,
moments.
they do.
Right, but it's like, because it's like I know one of them can't make it on the, and like I said, my list always change. It's very seldom that they're both on the list, to be honest with you.
Only reason I get Quick to nod because Quick production always a little better.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the reason why I get him a nod a lot of times. His production's always tight.
Yeah, because you know what? His production is like a mix between like UGK, like a lot of Texas, and 3-6 Mafia production. That's why I enjoy with Crit, and then of course his wordplay, is just good, man. But it's just something about J. Cole though, like but that's why I say I guess it's number 5 who holds the number 5 spot. I know it'll change. I'm gonna just go ahead and put Cole on there.
But I wasn't mad at you about J. Cole though. I wasn't mad about J. Cole. But I mean, cause J. Cole, I seen J. Cole before that pandemic. I saw J. Cole when he came to Atlanta. That joker rapped the whole song a cappella. Yeah. And I was like, that's tight. And that says a lot about his lyrics. That he don't need music. That he confident in his lyrics. I was like, that tells you that that's somebody who bought them bars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Exactly.
So I've seen J. Cole. Like I said, I wouldn't be mad at you about that.
Okay.
But it's just that I say always I give Crit the nod because of his production. His production be sick. Some of them beats, bro. God, man, I'd be like, man, what the heck did he get this from? Mm-hmm. Sometimes, them beats be sick. So I feel you on that. I feel you about that. But I wouldn't be mad about Jay. I'm telling you, Jay got that dude, bro. Cool. Jay that dude. Trust me, Jay that dude. And there's a reason why he but reason why he didn't go with Jay-Z, because he said he didn't want to go commercial like that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, he sure did. He turned out Jay-Z, and Jay-Z still be asking me about coming on with them. He's like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Because you know what? Because he was with Rock Nation for his first, especially his first 2 albums. Yeah, then he parted from it, or he got out the contract or something like that. But
he said he couldn't do it. He said it was compromising who he was.
Yeah.
Because his thing was that they talk about liquor and cars, and he talking about hey, being a father to your daughter. Because remember, he had just had that little girl there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, actually, what he says condescending.
Yeah.
And then he blew up. Then he just blew it. I think he just blew up. Remember, he started doing all them big concerts over in Brazil and all them kind of places. Mm-hmm. So he make his bread though. So I'm not mad about J. Cole, bro. But J. Cole be having you scratching your head like, hey, bro, you hear what he said?
Yeah.
So you right about that, yeah.
Yep. And otherwise I would have. I guess in other cases, like I said, my list usually changes, because Kendrick would be on that list too. Every now and then it just changes because, I think what matters for me is, how many times can you, can you get in front of the people? Can you consistently put music out? Right. And we all know Kendrick can rap. He could rap his ass off, and he makes great music. To Pimp a Butterfly was a great album. The Damn album was probably actually my favorite Kendrick project, actually. But it just always goes back to, it's like, yeah, that's cool, man, but it's been that album dropped in 2017.
Yeah, almost 5 years.
Yeah, almost 5 years. Yeah. It's been 4 to 5 years since we heard from you, dog. Like, where you at, man?
He takes sabbatical like that all the time. Because I think he's struggling with something. Because anytime and we as men, we can all testify this. When you start changing your look all the time, something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time you see him, he's different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. And you
No,
know
go
what?
ahead.
I bring another interesting point, especially when people talk top 5 or even top 10.
Mhm.
I'm the opposite of what everybody else thinks of Andre 3000.
Mhm.
He doesn't make on my list.
Mhm.
And that's not to say, because, I would say that, and then people would say, "Man, what you talking about? He could rap." Da, 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 da. I'm like, yes, he's
Yeah,
lyrical,
thousands.
but
Yeah.
he is lyrical. I'm not saying he's not, but
Mhm.
it's like I can't go to work for one day out the week and expect a raise. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that doesn't
Right.
work like that. What? Because I'm telling the truth, Vincent. That's why you that's why you doing that, because I'm telling the truth. You can't show up to work
I
one day
get
out
what
the
you're
week.
saying.
No?
I get what you're saying because you talk all about relevancy or whatever. Like if he's not putting out nothing, therefore, hey, like I'm not giving you this praise because you ain't putting out nothing. But if
you can't,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
I mean, it's the truth. I mean, what you said is the truth because I mean, honestly, but it's something about. I think sometimes they at a point in their lives that I think they feel like they've done enough that they don't have to try as much.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that because everybody still scream Jay-Z name, but great Jay-Z. Some of the stuff Jay-Z can put out, he got it to me. It be
But
straight
he's
out.
actually put out a couple songs out recently.
Right. Some of that stuff be garbage. Some of that stuff because
Garbage.
I'm gonna tell you why I say it's garbage. That 444 album, if he was eating off of, he was eating off of J. Cole and Vibe. We all know that. And come on, let's be for real. Jay-Z ain't never said nothing about no black man, no nothing until he saw that Kendrick Lamar that was getting them Grammys. He was like, wait a minute.
The Black Album, 99 Problems?
No. I said the 44 album. The 44 album?
Yeah, the Black Album was well before. That's the Dusty
No, I ain't talking about the
album.
Black Album. No, I ain't talking about the Black Album. I'm talking about the 44 album.
No, but they're saying that he wasn't talking about black problems and strugglings. I'm saying he has a song called 99 Problems that talks about the exact thing. This was well before the 444 album. 99 Problems. 99 Problems.
That's a stretch.
Hard Knock Life. Hard Knock Life.
Hard Knock Life was talking about
Anybody.
That don't talk about the
It's a hard knock life. Like what you mean?
Yeah, the plight of black people, right?
No, okay.
That was one of them too. That was one of them.
Maybe we heard 2 different albums, man, but I understand where you come from.
I will say, hey, wave his flag, bro. But come on.
Oh, come on, man. Oh, come on, man.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, one thing about me now, I can't say Jay-Z is very lyrical, and I'm not going to take that away from him. And he's one of them. Now his pen is tight. His pen is real tight. I give you that, but I'm not going to give you that album, bro. I can't do that, bro. I can't. I mean, I'm sorry. I can't. I cannot do that. I cannot give you that album. The only reason I said it because at one time Jay-Z was being trendy. He was trying to be. He was trying to combat Snoop. When Snoop was going through his thing with Dre them, and they had that momentum with Doggy Style.
Okay.
So because he was trying to combat. He was not going to say combat, but he was trying to compete with that. But once Jay-Z got in his lane and really started being Jay-Z. And I was like, Rather Biggie died. That's when he really had to become Jay-Z. That's when I can honestly say that. That's when I started looking at him different. Like, man, you know what? He's straight. Okay, that's straight. Because you gotta think that stuff he did with Kanye was trash. Straight trash.
What, you talking about the Watch the Throne album?
Man, all that. Man, that shit was trash.
I was like, no, hold on. Now I'll give you Watch the Throne. Maybe.
It was trash.
It was different.
That whole Paris album, Back to Paris, or what is Back to Paris? Or What was that song they had? Back to Paris. What that?
Got me going through real
Man, that jump. I'm like, what the heck is this?
What you talking about? What song was that?
Niggas in Paris.
Man, I'm like, what the heck?
Okay, yeah, that's
like,
okay.
I'm like, man, come on, bro.
Rappers have misses. They do. Rappers have misses. I ain't saying Jay Flawless. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I got it. But I'm talking about now. Come on now, back to Rockefeller days, though.
When Rockefeller days was hitting.
When Ye and Kanye was, we calling that trash.
But when he was with Rockefeller, you got that. He had a cap where Benny Signal put a lot of pressure on him too. He had to get in there and handle his business. Cause I'm gonna tell you, what's them two what's the Young Guns? Man, them jokers, they were stupid, bro. They were stupid. They had man, I was listening to that compilation album they had. Man, their pen was stupid, bro.
Yeah, the state property.
Their pen was stupid, bro. So I can't say that. Yeah, you know, like Jay was like he always on top because he had when he was with Rock, they put pressure on him.
Yeah.
And you gotta think when you in that kind of camp, that's the same thing it was when he was with Ruthless. You gotta think DLC wrote a lot of stuff too, so DLC put a lot of pressure on you. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? He put a lot of pressure on you. So you gotta think it's a lot of pressure been put on. When you in them kind of camps, you gotta put that pressure on. So his pen was tight. I ain't gonna say everybody said it wasn't. But when he said but after that, man, I was like, hey, bro, hey, whoa. Because you can tell like Cameron pen dropped when Dipset broke up.
Yeah.
Because the cap went strong. You could tell. Look at Jim Jones. Jim Jones' pen got weak.
Yeah.
And Jim Jones used to have some Jim Jones' pen was tight when they were Dipset. His pen was real tight.
Yeah.
Because Joe Santana, they used to push each other.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm saying something wrong. I'm not dissing the man, but at the same time, I gotta say, man, I gotta call it for what it is. It was trash. It was trash. I was like, man, come on, bro. Because I'm expecting more for you than that. Because I know the Rockefeller days.
Fair enough.
Noriega was the same way with Capone. You gotta think Capone used to push you.
Yeah.
But after he did Super Thug, that was it.
Yeah, that was.
All his songs sound the same.
I remember that.
All his songs sound the same after that. Am I lying?
Nah, you not.
Am I lying though?
Nah, you're not. You on it.
All his songs because Capone used to push it.
Mm-hmm.
And when Capone went to jail, he couldn't do that with it. You know, I think he did Super Thug, that was it. I like what? And after that was it. Everything else sounds the same.
Yeah.
He got with Neptune and then he got in that box. That's why he don't rap no more.
Yeah. I don't know. You can't get mad. Yeah.
Can't get mad. I can't get mad at him, but he had a nice little ride. Can't get mad at him, but to say, Joe, let's call it for what it is. I mean, the early Capone, shoot, and no, man, his pen was stupid.
Yeah.
But after Super Thug, he was around.
Yeah.
All right.
True.
So I'm sorry. Hey, it's what it is.
Hey, look, man, that topic is a whole nother episode in itself, man.
Hey, you asked about hip hop, so when we talk, you asked about hip hop.
Hey, I appreciate it.
About hip hop. I said I'm hip hop head.
Right. The insight's definitely needed in a world where they don't know anything about it. So it's definitely needed.
I do have one more, and then I'll cut it. If hip hop had like the most improved lyricist, I would have to go with Rick Ross. Over the years, this man's penmanship has been pretty dope.
I can't say what people will write for him though, bro.
I mean, well, I'm not really surprised.
I can't put you in that category. Which I find people writing for you, bro, I'm done with you, bro. I'm old school. We just talk about Carter B then, bro. Ain't no different. You know what I'm saying? He got pants on, stick on the skirt.
He hasn't confirmed or denied. He hasn't confirmed or denied.
Everybody know. Somebody wrote for him. That's why. Why do you think he fell off? What they say when his ghostwriters quit? What he do? he stopped making albums for a while. Did he not?
No, I didn't read that part, but no.
Okay,
I
yeah.
I didn't read that part.
Gunplay them was writing for him.
Yeah.
I won't say for all
I
10.
remember
All
when
10
they tried to
albums.
make him into the new Biggie.
All 10. What?
I said, I remember when they tried to make him into the new Biggie and it didn't work.
Yeah, because he wasn't writing his own lyrics.
Yeah.
But Diddy was writing for Biggie too. At the beginning, at the beginning, when Ready to Die, when Ready to Die was coming out, for him to get. You don't think he was?
You talking about now?
You don't think he was?
You talking about the same person? You talking
I'm
about
not
the same
saying
person
all
that
of.
Mace was writing for?
I'm not saying all of his work. I'm not saying it, but you don't think Diddy had a hand in something, and not just the hook either?
No. I think the hook.
He had a hand in Juicy.
The hook. Yeah, the hook.
Yeah.
I think the hook.
No, not just the hook. Not just the hook. I mean.
And I think the hook, but I don't know. But I don't know how I can deal with that one, bro. I can't go with you with that one, bro. Because Biggie Pen was sick, bro.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, all of it. But for him to be the image that Diddy wanted him to be in, and then have his company work with him too.
Now you talking about like for promotional reasons, probably, yeah. But I don't think like I say, I ain't never heard that.
Even for his album too, because I mean, what else was Biggie was going to talk about besides Ray?
But he did. Okay, the second album, the Ready to Die, with Life After Death. If you listen to Life After Death, he was transitioning.
Yeah.
He was talking about living good life. He ain't talking about selling no more dope.
Right.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about. We have to revolve. So rap always revolves. And you got to think, they had already rumored that was his last album with Bad Boy anyway, because he was trying to become an executive.
You
said because he was trying to do what?
He was trying to become an executive. Because remember, he had already had to start a company going up right now, because that's when he had signed Charlie Baltimore, and he was going to put Junior Mafia on there. Because Junior Mafia never signed with Bad Boy, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
That's why Lil' Kim was able to do what she did. Right.
Yeah.
So think about it.
On that one.
So think about it. So it's kind of hard. I mean, he was already transitioning to be executive.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like I mean, don't get me wrong now. Them remix and stuff. Oh, I got Diddy all over that, but I don't think he was in that lab, bro. I don't think he was in the lab like that, bro. Because you gotta think, Mace wrote a lot of Diddy stuff, all Diddy stuff. Mace wrote all. That's why Mace. That's how Mace got on with Bad Boy. Because shoot, him and Ja Rule wrote 90% of the total album. I didn't even know Ja Rule had that kind of pen.
Well, from Mace's album?
No, Mace and Ja Rule wrote total, and Ja Rule also wrote for J-Lo, and he wrote for Mary J. Blige.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's another. I know more about that, but more so, Ashanti was more so behind a lot of stuff that J-Lo did. So a lot of stuff that J-Lo wrote, Ashanti wrote, they gave to J-Lo. And it got to the point where, Ashanti was like, I'm not going to keep giving my good stuff to her or whatever when I can sing it. So that's,
she can't sing.
To me, yeah. She's definitely been slept on. So she had a lot of work in that too. Yeah.
So, because Ja Rule used to help her write.
Yeah.
Because Ja Rule wrote a lot, bro. I didn't know. Mary J. Blige would put me on Ja Rule. She said Ja Rule wrote. She said, y'all don't know Ja Rule wrote so many songs for me. Y'all have no idea.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Him at early years when they was at hip hop. Not hip hop, Uptown. It was Al B. Sure wrote a lot of her songs. He wrote almost the whole 411 album and the first Jodeci album. But then when he formed Bad Boy, that's when he knew Ja Rule, because Ja Rule was gonna sign with Bad Boy, but Irv had scooped him up.
Yeah, Irv got him. Yeah.
And that's how. But he still had affiliation with That's how he was able to write for Mary J. Blige.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man. They say Ja Rule got a crazy pen, bro. They say pen real crazy. So that's why I say it's. I don't mind you writing, but just be truthful about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why I said Ross know them people. He said Ross talking about drinking. All kind of folk was helping him write. I'm like, man, come on, bro. And when I found out he was a CEO, I was like, man, come on, man, get out of here. We ain't so no dope. I'm Rick Ross. I got the keys over. Man, you don't stop lying. I got my face.
Security guard.
Yeah, right. At the mall. With no beat.
People gotta have jobs, man. You gotta start.
You gotta work somewhere. Security guard.
Man, like I said, that man, you and I both know that man, what that man did. That man said he told that lie.
Hey, I just say this pen game has improved over the years. You know, what he does outside of that ain't my business.
Hey, like what your man said, like what your man was talking about Wale, same thing.
Yeah.
Wale used to write for him. I forgot Wale used to write for him. Remember Wale was in his camp.
Yep. Still in his camp.
I can say he helped. I agree that he probably helped. That he did, especially when he got signed with MMG. After he got out of Interscope Records. So I will agree. He probably did help him.
I know Gunplay wrote a lot for him though. A lot of that gutter stuff that he got, Gunplay wrote a lot of that.
Yeah, and like I said, this is not saying that he didn't have help. I'm just saying he got 10 albums out right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not convinced that all 10 albums he did not write. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Vincent, I see you doing it. I ain't even looking at you. I see you doing the face.
You will be surprised.
I'm seeing you doing the face. I ain't got to look at you, and I know you doing it.
But I think we definitely.
I said, I know this late, man.
Yeah, that's why I was about to cut it off, man. We've been going deep into it.
Oh, it's
man, but
we gotta do this again.
I think we got a lot. Huh?
I said we gotta do this again. That's all.
Oh yeah, sure.
Word.
But I think we got a lot of good content out of this, man. I appreciate y'all, being able to donate your time tonight, man, to jump on or whatever. Again, this has been another episode of The Corner. This has been episode 29. When did you fall in love with hip hop? So, I've been, gracious enough to have, a couple of guest stars on tonight. We got Odell, we got Distinguished Legacy that was on, I had to go. And then we also got, the cast member Mac, man. But I enjoyed the talk with y'all. I enjoyed the powwow, debating and all that, whatever. So it's definitely something that'll happen again, man. We had a good one tonight. So I definitely appreciate y'all for coming on, man. So we can sign off here. I'm K1, and this is
Mac.
It's Odell. Peace.
All right, now that's the Corner. Y'all have a good one. Good night. Peace.
Good night.
And remember, cover your 6.
All right. Good one. Fucking. All right. Before I sign off, I already told y'all before, man. I got a free smartwatch out for y'all, man. It's forget the name of it. I have to get some more details later on, man. But brand new smartwatch, man. I'm giving it away just for y'all, just to get on, man. Just for y'all to get at least 10 people to subscribe and get on with us, man, and show your support or whatever. But this is free to anyone that attempts to do it. Just go ahead and DM me, DM The Corner, DM me on Instagram, whatever you have to do, and win this free smartwatch, man. It's good to go, man. The battery life is great on it. Visible time. You get your calls and your texts on it as well. But y'all check it out, man. We'll holler at y'all. Y'all have a great night. Peace.